Well, hi.
DK, hello.
Hamina, hello.
Thank you for having me over to the Tundra Tonics kitchen today.
uh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for inspiring me to pick the mantle back up. I was so interested when we were at the farmer's market, uh, and I was about to drink cat shit coffee. Uh, and then I told all my friends about it afterwards and posted vehemently on social media about it. And right before that, I was like, wow, these guys are serving eggs in coffee too. I got to figure out what's going on here.
I know. Come get your eggs and poop. It's probably the northernmost eggs and poop related eatery in the world, possibly.
Look at that.
But
Yeah.
I'll confess, like, as you know, when people walk up to you and they say, "Oh, I'm going to start a podcast" and stuff like that,
hmm
the feeling you get is kind of like what a kid's like, "I'm going to be an astronaut," and you're like, "Oh, that's cool.
Uh,
I'll support that." But you're like, "We'll see." But as we got to talking later that day, actually, I realized there was like a different, deeper, more complex person behind those first statements. And yeah, I'll never say no to something like that. Just talking and sharing things is
mhm.
extremely important.
Nice. What do we got here?
Let's take our first sip. I think it's cooled down enough. We just made some tea, and
Should this be like a kind of sip, like a,
yeah, if you ice slurp. Uh, this is most tea like green or black or white. It's
hmm
all Camellia sinensis. And then there's varietals and region types and different families in the
okay.
same region can have different like manifestations of the tea depending on what they call the terroir or like their growing process or their processing process.
Uh-huh.
This is a different species of tea, and I can't even remember the last name. It's Camellia something something. It is called wild sweet purple YaBao.
Okay.
I think YaBao just means sweet purple bud. Kind of, it's like repetitive, but it's the leaf buds,
Okay.
kind of like a silver needle tea, come out first. It's a very prized harvest because that tea at that stage is usually very sweet. It's not processed very much, so it's like a very pure, sought after form of tea that you can only harvest sometimes.
Sure.
In addition to being a different species in leaf buds, it's also grown on what's called gushu trees, which means ancient, which means at least 100 years old. And a tea tree can be legitimately 100 years old or even 500, and they get huge, really big,
Like tree-sized tree?
like tree-sized
Okay.
trees.
Okay.
And as they age, the legend goes that the flavors take on all these new, complex, more flavors, and
hmm
different families inherit them over the generations. And then in this case, with Wild Yabao, it takes, I can't remember the actual number, but it's like 20 people, 2 weeks to harvest like 20 pounds or something like that,
Whoa.
which is astonishingly low compared to the big harvest that everybody else does. So it's one of the most sought after, but also unknown teas in the world, and it's my personal favorite. But even before knowing all that, it's like I'm gonna take another sip. It's just delicious. There's not really anything else like it.
Yabao tea. You don't only have tea, you got all sorts of bevs.
Yes. So, this year and last year at the Tanana Valley Farmers Market, we started serving drinks to go. They're not exactly ordinary drinks. And then for our products that we make in the kitchen where we're at right here,
hmm
which is a DEC approved kitchen, but also an FDA approved kitchen too. We make a whole lot of different teas and blends that only we do. A lot of it has
hmm
wild forage stuff from up here in the area. And then we have some CBD blends, and then also we're the only business that makes mushroom herbal coffees, as they're called.
Okay.
And I'm the only mushroom business. We're not like but you know what I mean. That's been working with them for over 10 years. So
Wow.
I take it really seriously, and I put a lot of effort and thought into the things we make. And we have three
hmm
different kinds of wild mushroom coffees made with Alaskan mushrooms.